Why do we get things? Why is it that we go online or we go to the shops and we buy new stuff? Is it out of necessity? Or is it because the things we buy make us happier? Or is it because when we buy things, it makes us feel like we're progressing? Living in the 21st century, we are constantly being told that in order to improve, we need new things. From constant targeted advertising to the influences of those around us and on social media, the message that material gain is synonymous with progression is bombarded at us as soon as we step outside or turn on our phones. And with the added convenience and low prices delivered to us by companies such as Amazon, acting on our impulses is easier than ever. But really, is material gain something we truly should and deep down do value? In Year 7, as part of PSHE, I was made to fill out a table with my hierarchy of values. Now, last year, I realized something about this. That experience in Year 7 was the last time that I had considered what I actually find important in life. Which just makes you think, I'd gone the past 5 years without considering what I find important. I'd set countless goals and targets as to how I wish to improve myself and my life, but until last year, I'd never considered the deeper purpose behind these targets. I hadn't considered why it is that I wanted to improve these things, or even if those are things that I should be improving. We go through our lives doing the things we think we should do, the things society tells us are important. But have you ever really stopped to consider, what are your values? What are the fundamental principles that you live by? The things you care most about in life? Because I hadn't. And when I did, I had a realization. After considering the top 5 most important things in my life, something struck me. None of them were my possessions. So then, if, for me, what I own isn't important, how do I stop thinking about it so much of the time? How do I stop letting it distract me from what is important? And that, my friends, is where we meet a little concept called minimalism. Minimalism, for those of you that, like I was, aren't aware of the concept, is, put simply, buying less stuff and getting rid of unnecessary stuff so that we can appreciate what we already own and, ultimately, focus on what is important. So then, after finally properly assessing my values, dismissing the importance of possessions, and discovering minimalism, I had a challenge ahead of me. I had to actually get rid of my stuff. Not, of course, all of my stuff. That's not the point of minimalism, or at least it wasn't for me. My goal was simply to get rid of everything that didn't either bring me immense and regular happiness or serve a regular, practical purpose. Now, I've heard of a lot of different ways of going about this, from the extremes of packing everything away and then getting out only what you need, to the more relaxed approach of getting rid of, say, 1 item per day. But I decided to go with something somewhere in the middle. I started off with a box. A singular box in the center of my bedroom. My goal for that day was simply to fill that one box with things that I no longer needed. Now, it turns out this was actually easier than I expected. And as I emptied out drawers of old charging cables and half-used stationery and just random things I kept for just in case, I found that before I knew it, the box was full. And so, finding this strangely therapeutic, I decided to get out another box and a few piles of old school books, some random instruction manuals, and a strangely large number of drawstring bags later, that was full too. However, so far, I'd been getting away easy. I'd only really been getting rid of the things that I already considered rubbish. And whilst my room certainly felt decluttered, my mind wasn't really that much clearer. And so, that same day, I decided to tackle the harder stuff, the things I thought I liked. These included the books that sat on my shelves despite the fact I knew I was never going to read them again. It included my clothes, and, probably most tragically of all, it included my Harry Potter figurines. However, despite how much I thought I longed to hold on to these things, with every item I placed into the box, I found myself feeling a little bit more free. As much as I thought I liked having 23 hats, except for the one hat which I would choose to wear every day, none of them really added any extra value to my life. They were just another thing to distract me from what is important. And so, after a few more days like this, the boxes of distractions were donated or recycled, and I was left with my essentials. I was left feeling free. I was left with the headspace to focus on my true values. Now, I feel like I should note, minimalism by itself isn't a solution. In fact, at times throughout my journey, I may even have taken the concept a little bit too far. It turns out, one pair of trousers isn't enough. However, when used properly, I found that minimalism made my life a whole lot more deliberate. And it gave me the freedom to focus on what I find most important. For me, this was my education. For you, it could be any number of things. And so, I hope that after hearing this, if any of you are inspired to even partially embrace the concept of minimalism, it will allow you to find the same clarity that I did. Allow you to filter from your mind the values installed in us by society, leaving only the things important to you. Thank you.